Welcome back, guys. So you're probably thinking, what on earth is this thing here, this contraption? Well, that is exactly what this video is going to be about. Okay, I was going to do a video this weekend on hibernation, leopard gecko hibernation, but I'm going to postpone that by another week just to allow me a little bit more time to go into it a bit more. It's been a bit of a crazy week this week, and I kind of got a bit distracted with this. And the reason I want to get this done quite soon is because spring is on its way. It's only like 2-3 months away, and I wanted to get this made so that there's time to for the stuff which I'm going to talk about now to process. So yes, it's pink, and pink isn't my favorite color, but it was what was available in the store, and so it's quite sturdy plastic. So that's the reason why I went for that. But why have I got a pink box in my room with loads of holes in it? Okay, well, I am making a wormery, or I've attempted to make a wormery, or I have made a wormery today. Okay, why make a wormery? Well, as you can see, I've got some new houseplants. They've been there about a month now, and I do eventually want to put them into like nicer looking and bigger pots so that it can grow a bit more. And obviously the terrarium plants, and also outdoor gardening as well. So the purpose of a wormery is really to produce fertile compost and liquid fertilizer that can be used for the plants. So how did I do my research? So I'm going to give a shout out to Ben at Grow Veg. So I just did a quick YouTube. YouTube is brilliant for like how-to videos. So quick YouTube, how to make a small wormery. And then this one came up. There's quite a lot on there, but this one looked pretty good, and so I watched this video. I won't show the whole video now, you can check it out for yourselves. So it's on YouTube at Grow Veg. Okay, how to make a wormery, worm composting. Okay, great video, and it basically taught me how to make this compartment. So what I've done is I'm lucky. Where I work on a organic farm, and so I went up there today with the permission of my manager to not only just check on the animals. I don't normally work on a Sunday, so weekends are usually my time off. But I just asked if I could go up there to pick up some molehill soil and some dead leaves, and to make like a little wormery. And so my manager was like, yeah, go for it. And whilst I was there, I checked on the animals and stuff as well. So that's basically what I've been doing today. And I filled this. So this middle compartment, you can make these with just 2 compartments. So the top one is for your soil, leaf litter, place live worms in there as well. You can order worms online. Or you can dig them out of the compost. Earthworms that you can find generally in the garden, they are great at aerating the soil, so like through making tunnels and that, and turning the leaves. But they're not so great. Well, they're slower at composting than different kind of worms, which are known as like your sort of tiger worms and that sort of thing. However, I didn't order anything online. I just went with what was available. So on the farm, I didn't have to do much digging. Our compost heap has got tons of worms, and so I picked some from there and placed into here. So I went round the farm And literally, there's loads of moles creating hills. Some gardeners consider them as a pest, but they're actually really, really good to have in gardens or on farms, small holdings, what have you, if you're growing stuff, because they actually aerate the soil, feed off slugs, and they do feed on worms as well. So they do contribute to that food chain. And they have, ecological benefits. There's lots of ecological benefits to having moles in your garden. So even though they may turn up the soil, that soil is so refined, it can be reused, say in the greenhouse or in your bedding, for bedding plants, anywhere in the garden really. And because where I work, it's free range and organic. Well, chemical free. It's not certified organic, so we don't use any pesticides or herbicides. And much of the growing of plants, veg, fruit is done by hand. Propagation, cultivation, and all the rest. We also, so part of the social enterprise where I work, we provide work and social opportunities for adults with autism and learning differences. So, and it's a recent new job that I've taken up, permanent position, full time, and I'm just literally loving it there. I feel like I've been there forever, so it's literally just been a breath of fresh air. So yeah, anyway, going back to the worm farm. So collected some molehill soil, placed it in this middle compartment, and then I can also put in some green kitchen waste. So like some little food scraps, just in, not too heavy, just little bits. And that I'm going to cover it with a piece of this like fleecy kind of stuff, which came absolutely free with, I think it was a HelloFresh order one time. Mum and I live at home, so we haven't ordered a HelloFresh for some time, but this was in the box that came with the food, and this was in it. So I thought, oh, this might be perfect for something. So I kept it, and voila, I'm going to use it now for this. So once I put some kitchen scraps in there, I'll cut this fleece to size. I mean, I don't even know if it is fleece, but it won't be anything sort of dangerous. It's from a food company which are quite sustainable. Mindful Chef, sorry, not HelloFresh. Mindful Chef. They're similar to HelloFresh, but a bit more. Their stance is more ecology, sustainability, and that sort of thing. Yeah. So I'm going to cut this to size and then place it on top of the food scraps. Once I've placed the food scraps in here, cover it with the fleece, and then put the lid back on, or the top compartment back on, and then let it decompose for about a week, and then keep checking. And then basically once that is kind of like full, I mean, which it probably nearly is now. I probably put a little bit too much soil and leaf litter in. Anyway, that doesn't matter. There's still a little bit of room for compost. So it's going to be a trial. I'll put a little bit of food scraps in and then let that break down, because I'm hoping to be able to use this in time for spring this year. Hoping to. And then once that's full and ready, the compost, so the waste, one of the byproducts of this, once it's been broken down by the worms, there's probably going to be some springtails and whatnot in there as well. That will break down and form a byproduct into this container, which will be like a liquid fertilizer that can be used directly on the plants. And so what I did was I drilled a hole as close to the bottom as I could, and then attached like a sort of I don't know what they're called, like these things that you can find on water butts, or you know, it's like a sort of a tap, I guess. And so I can turn this to open it. The reason why it's placed on the bottom is so that there's no sort of stale water fertilizer stashed on the bottom, which will then cause a bit of an odour. And then obviously this tube is to make it easier to collect the water with a little watering can. Solution, I should say, because it's not going to be water, because it's going to be a byproduct of this, yeah. And then that can be mixed with water and then used on the plants. That's the idea of it. So it works. So the idea makes a lot of sense because it breaks down household food waste. I'm only going to use a small amount, but and then it generates food for the plants to help them grow, which will help the insects and gecko and all that kind of stuff. So it all kind of makes sense. Obviously the holes which I've put on the side and on the lid and on the bottom of, so this is the middle compartment. There's also some holes on the bottom of the top compartment. So if I just put them on top like that again. Yeah, so there's holes for aeration, top lid, side. You don't really have to put them on the top lid. But as long as there's aeration in the side and then the bottom of the compartment on the top and middle, for the top and middle ones, yeah. And then obviously the bottom one doesn't need holes because that's to drain the byproduct of the breaking down organic matter. So hopefully that does make some sense, and hopefully it will work. So that is my latest project, and the idea of this is to kind of do it now, start it now in January, so like start of winter-ish, and then hopefully by about, say, April, when things are growing again more, it would also help for my houseplants. There'll be a bit of liquid fertilizer and also some worm castings that will benefit the terrarium. So yeah, so that is Jinxland Wormery, guys. Over and out.